Hi, I'm that guy as well, and I'm playing Rush of Blood. This is viewer takeover. Ugh!
This is the Midnight Gamescast. We record every Tuesday afternoon at midnight, and we bring it to YouTube live every Tuesday as PSVR Gamescast Live. And every Wednesday, every today is Viewer Takeover, when we let you, the loyal Gamecats, let you take over the show. Don't worry, Des is new to this. As always, my name's Brian Paul, and to my right, your middle, this is, what would you do for a Klondike bar? Des. This person that came to mind. And to my far right, your left, is the king of all VR kings, the Sofa King himself.
Hello.
It's Jeremy King, and god damn it, Viewer Takeover's back.
Yeah, it is.
You asked for it, we brought it back. What can I say?
And
for all
the females out there, see what happens when you have a baby? What happens after? Michelle has changed a little bit.
Yes. It's been a rough couple months.
I was really not sure where you were at it all.
I guess.
She's flooded with testosterone.
This is like 41 years ago I was a baby. But.
Yeah.
All right, so before we get started, there's a few people we want to thank. The fluffiest of the fluffy. This
So
is where
fluffy.
we thank our loyal Patreon supporters. Oh, these people down here.
Down here.
Down there.
Like
Their time down there. Our time up here. Those are the people who went to patreon.com/withoutparole
games,
and they are giving us $1 or more every single month.
Yeah.
And what do they get, Jeremy? Oh God, I can't believe I'm asking you this. For their $1 or more every single month.
What they get is
enjoy your coffee. This is going to take a while.
They get access to these little episodic shows called the Litter Box, where Des and Brian talk about things usually unrelated to gaming, or is it lately?
Wait, I know you don't watch. He's not a Patreon supporter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
I had a free pass.
Somebody said recently, it's like having a backstage pass to Without Parole. Nice. And I was like, that is an excellent comparison.
Except you don't want to see our backstage.
It's a lot of hair.
It's true. Excellent point.
Yeah.
And
also,
thank you very much.
They get all of the podcast shit into an MP3 format.
Not just the podcast shit, the entire podcast.
Yeah,
the good stuff and the bad.
Yeah, all of it.
Right. Mm-hmm. And some people give us more than $1, some people give us $1, and we appreciate every single dollar you're willing to give us.
Yes.
Every single month. This is the only way our dreams are coming true.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way we can make this happen for you. Making our dreams come true.
Keep sending 20-cent installments to Natalie Portman.
We can do 80s sitcoms, but we can't do 80s movies.
Listen, have you ever seen the Midnight Gamescast? Total shit show, right? All right. But there's actually a few more people we want to thank.
Yep.
Now, a long time ago, in a galaxy far away, right? There was a young man named Beauty in the Decay.
Yeah.
And he started a movement. A movement, I tell you, a movement. God, the coffee's finally kicking in. I didn't sleep last night. And he changed his name from Beauty in the Decay to Matt the Game Cat.
Wow.
And he was the very first one to change his name to Game Cat.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still out there.
I don't know
Thank
either.
you, sir.
Yeah.
He
comes. Beauty in the Decay.
He comes and goes. We put that's right. We put a kitty door in, so he comes and goes as he pleases.
Yeah.
So and that's how it all works. You guys come and go as you please. We're always here for you.
Yep.
But what we want to do is we want to get back on track and start thanking all the people who followed Beauty in the Decay's Matt the Game Cat's lead.
Yeah.
And changed their name to Game Cat. So I have no idea. If this is. It's obviously not all of them.
Yeah.
So if we don't list your name, we haven't done Viewer Takeover in a while.
It's been a while.
I'm trying to catch up on all the ones we might have missed since the last Viewer Takeover. So if we never gave you a shout out, and we don't give you a shout out today, please put in the comments #GameCat, and we'll find you and give you a shout out. And if you
we will find you.
We will find you.
Yeah.
And we'll put food out.
Yeah, the hashtag is like raising your hand, basically.
It is.
It's easy to spot you.
Exactly. I'll search for #GameCat. I'll give everybody a shout out. It'll be amazing. And also, you should change your name to something the Game Cat.
Wow.
Frank. All right. So we got Broken Hand, the Game Cat.
Ouch. Broken paw.
It should be Broken Paw.
It should be Broken Paw.
Aw,
poor
That's
widow.
a little more
broken
sad
paw.
than adorable.
It is. It's like picture poor little.
What's that? A broken paw or broken hand? Broken Paw just sounds very, very sad.
Also, we got Inspector Gadget GameCat.
Wow.
Yep, we also got
Okay.
Drazen, the PSVR GameCat
Reed.
Reed.
Rita?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like fair. It's like fair either way.
Maybe it's Riade.
Maybe it's the what are they? The Old English version of
Old
Reed?
English?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe. And then we got Bed for You 2 ampersand GameCats D.
He's just telling you to go to bed, really.
Bed for You 2.
Bed for you two.
Maybe like Bono.
Oh, he's telling Bono to go to bed.
Maybe.
That's probably
Maybe.
Bed
Or
for
the
You
whole
2 and
band, you
GameCats.
two.
Yeah.
And then I really like this.
Yeah.
Game Catechus.
Catechus.
Game Catechus. It's like an abacus?
Or like
no,
Spartacus?
I'm thinking more like
Spartacus.
Galactus. Like he's like the ultimate villain of the GamesCat universe.
I like
He's
it.
coming to devour all the other podcasts.
It's very
Or
possible.
Game Cactus Cat
I was
combo?
saying cactus
I
definitely.
will be your herald, Game Catechus.
I keep thinking cactus when I see it for sure.
Yeah.
All right, and every week on
get the
Viewer
ball going
Takeover,
on, so.
we scour the comments, we scour the videos, and we find our favorite comments and questions. I do a lot of this. Michelle's not here to stop me. And
I have no interest in stopping you.
Yeah, I like it.
And let's be fair, what I really do is search for hashtag Viewer Takeover. So if you have a
Yeah.
hashtag Viewer Takeover question, put up hashtag Viewer Takeover in
And
front of
raise
it,
your
or at
hand.
the end of it, or somewhere in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You raise your hand if you're sure.
Yep.
Remember that
Oh,
commercial?
I certainly do.
I am not.
I am.
And those are the first ones I'm going to find and copy and paste into this little Word document that changes all of our periods to question marks, and we read them that way because we think it's funny.
Oh?
Really? Okay.
Oh, it did actually. This is weird because sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. This one happened to do it.
It did.
So I'm going to read the very first question
Some of
from
them.
Haplo784 from last week's episode of PSVR Gamescast Live. He writes, hashtag Viewer Takeover. It's a thing.
It is a thing.
Do you think Oculus Quest launching early next year will force Sony to finally give us thumbsticks on the Move controllers? What do you think?
I think nothing's going to force Sony to do
No.
what it doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was thinking.
As we've
Yeah.
seen with, everything recently happening in the Sony world.
When you're the leader of the pack by a very large margin,
Yeah.
you kind of get this mentality that you're like, oh, we're doing everything right.
Yeah.
Everything's just going fine.
Yeah.
And they see the rest of the VR market and they're like, well, we're not going to actually like skyrocket to like 100 million sold anytime soon.
Yeah.
So what are we going to like invest all this money into hardware that people are now used to?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's also it's partially that it's not just we're the leader of the pack. It's also Sony is a bigger company. There's more steps the process have to go through, more testing. So it's not like we have an idea, we're going to rush it. It's going to be in the market in 3 months.
Yeah.
Now, Oculus and groups like that, they come from sort of smaller startup kind of background, so they can do that. They can rush something. Hi,
Hey.
that's a microphone.
Microphone.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They can come up with an idea and throw something out and get something to market in a quarter of the time that it would take Sony to. So even if Sony said today, you know what, Oculus, you're right, we're going to change things, it would be a year and a half, 2 years before we started actually seeing a product.
Yeah. And yeah, right. I think Sony's already got their plans set.
Yeah.
I think they're probably not looking at at a mid, if you want to call it the PSVR console instead of an accessory, like a mid console upgrade. Mm-hmm. I think they're looking at like PS5 and PSVR2 and going, what are we going to do for that?
Yeah. I mean, they're it's like the tortoise and the hare. You know what I mean with the race. They don't need to run. They're the tortoise in this. They're gonna get there. I think Sony's been around and such a monster so long, and they've done this console thing for so long. I think they already know how they're working this. First with this, it was kind of let's test the market. Now, obviously, things are starting to roll, and I think they definitely got things in mind, slowly but surely. I don't think they're going to.
Stop calling me Shirley.
There's a concept called the innovator's dilemma, which I think Oculus and Vive are going to fall prey to. The idea is like the person who comes out with the thing first doesn't usually have success with it.
Yeah.
The technologies in the iPhone, Apple didn't invent any of those. Okay, there's not a single thing that Apple admit. What they did was take, oh, that's a good idea, that's a good idea, that's a good idea, and they put it together. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, while Oculus and Vive may be innovating in the space, and I'm not saying they're not, at the end of the day, Sony's got the marketing, got the research, and got the know-how to make a consumer device that I think in the long run will pay off.
And they're not even competing against like their biggest competitor, Microsoft, because Microsoft isn't really delving into that.
Not yet, no.
So they're doing the whole HoloLens or whatever the fuck.
Well, they say they're
Mixed
doing that, but
reality,
still.
Still, it's, yeah, but that's more for business. It's not really for pleasure. It seems like where they were mostly developing it.
I don't know. I did like that Minecraft thing they did.
That thing was sick.
That was cool.
Yeah.
All right, we got to move on though because we got lots more questions to handle.
All right, we got Thomas Richards from the PSVR Gamecast Live. # viewer takeover. Hey, it's a thing. Will you buy a PS5 at launch if PSVR2 does not launch at the same time? Ooh. Or will you wait until the release of PSVR2?
When I first read this question, I was like, "This is a toughie."
It is a toughie.
And then I was like, "No, it's not. I'm not buying it until PSVR2 comes around."
Absolutely, it's a slam dunk, easy question.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm into. You know, I was dragged kicking and streaming from Xbox. Kicking and streaming.
I saw kicking and streaming. Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Actually, well, yeah, and I'm not dropping the change on a whole new console unless Sony shows me that they've invested in a new VR console.
Right.
Yeah.
Or most recent reports had said that PS5 is going to be backward compatible with PS4. Mm-hmm. Now, what does that mean for PSVR? Does that mean that the PSVR headset will be compatible with PS5 and that the games will, you know, remember when we went from PS1 to PS2?
Yeah.
And the PS2 was able to like moderately improve the graphics, right? Is this going to be like one of those examples of how the PS4 Pro makes the PSVR games look slightly better? And the PS5 is going to be able to like be backward compatible and make them look even better? Who knows?
I think your bottleneck is still the wire, kind of, you know, the rate of information that can go over that wire. It doesn't matter how powerful the thing in your living room is, if it can't get that information through that wire fast enough, then that's kind of limiting factor. So I don't know. I find it, you might see a little up-res, but not the massive graphical increase you're hoping for, not without a new headset.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
If the games are backward compatible, you might see me buy a PS5 sooner rather than later. But if it's going to be like a whole new system again, if they're going to be like, oh, no, sorry, remember that PlayStation 3 you had? Yeah. It has nothing to do with this brand new console you just bought. But I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to wait.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to put a caveat on that. If our Patreon support like increases geometrically in the next couple of years, then yes, absolutely.
I used to be the type, every console launch day, I'd be midnight opening to get it. And as I get older, do I want a PS5 and will I get it? Yep, totally. But I don't know if it's going to be at launch unless there's some stellar title that is like...
what's the game that's going to do it, right?
What's the game? Yeah. You know, because I mean, it was Zelda with the Switch, you know? That was what made me buy that fucking thing. But PS5, I want it. I'll get it. But at launch, it's different now. I don't know. We'll have to see the lineup.
You're up, Jeremy, with Scruffzilla.
Scruffzilla from Home Sweet Home First Impression. That's you. I think him and I did it last time.
Okay, cool.
Oh.
I think we have the same strategy.
Oh, wait.
Wow, Brian, you gave that to him.
I did, too.
You totally.
I think you missed one.
I did. But I threw it anyways.
Right for scissors. With Sony seeming to finally give up on the handheld market, being unable to compete with Nintendo in that space, do you think that VR could become their primary focus as a secondary device in the PlayStation ecosystem? More specifically, do you think the eventual PSVR 2 could be a standalone device, not unlike the upcoming Oculus Quest, that people can purchase without needing a PS5 to run it? Love to hear your thoughts. Thanks always for the great content! Exclamation point. No, I don't think it's going to be standalone.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be a standalone device. I don't want it to be a standalone device because the second you do that, you start limiting the amount of power.
Oh, big time.
If the PSVR 2 is a standalone device, it's only going to be moderately more powerful than PSVR 1.
And just the battery alone. Now you're going to have to have either a battery pack on your waist or strapped to your head, which is not really comfortable. But I think the first part of the question I think is a lot more interesting. Is, okay, since Sony's mobile aspirations have kind of fizzled. Yeah. Are they dumping that hope into the VR being their new cash cow? That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really hoping that when the Vita, when they finally tanked the Vita, I was hoping we'd see studios like Sony Bend, be like, okay, well now we're going to be a VR studio.
Yeah. Okay.
But instead they're making that zombie game for PS4. Right. I was like, oh, that's what we needed. Another one of those.
Another one of them.
Yeah. I mean, I'd kill for one of those in VR.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you've got basically all these hardware developers saying, all right, we're giving up on mobile because it's either Nintendo or you already have the your phone in your pocket.
Yeah.
So all that money, all that investment, all that talent's got to go somewhere. And I don't know.
And it's only a lot of them keep just starting to create mobile device, games straight like Nintendo's doing,
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe Sony will go that route because Sony right now is not making any kind of mobile games, correct?
No, they stopped support for the Vita, so I mean,
I know
think
there's
everything's
like
just third-party developers.
Yeah.
I don't want to say. I feel like Sony's such a big company that they could totally be making mobile games and we don't even know.
It's kind of like Disney and porn,
Yeah. I didn't realize this, but Lethal Weasel VR wrote on Tumble VR review discussion. So this was maybe a month ago or so. I love that people were putting viewer takeover questions out there.
Just in case.
Yeah,
I
right.
love it.
They're like, hello.
We were probably asking for it on Gamescast Live, and I just have no memory. He wrote, #viewer takeover. It's a thing. He goes, ever since I first tried PSVR, I often wondered how much better these awesome games would look on a truly powerful gaming machine. It recently dawned on me that if that we could find out if PS5 is backwards compatible. As unlikely as it seems, it's possible. If we start the conversation now, I, for one, would love for my library to carry over. Your thoughts? So obviously we touched on this already quite a bit. So let's just say a yes or no. If PS5 out of the box was backward compatible with your PS4, so all those games carried over, would you buy a PS5 on launch day?
No.
Probably.
I probably would too, because I'm the kind of guy that wants one box and I want everything to be in it.
Yeah.
But what they need to do for me to be really happy is, can I please put my PS1 disc into like I could on PlayStation 3 even.
I know, right?
PlayStation 2. Can I please put my PS1 games, they're everywhere, or my PS2 games into my PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
And please, it's a PlayStation. Play my PlayStation games.
I know,
I mean, I can go download an emulator for my PC in about 30 seconds and be able to play those games.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's no reason the hardware can't support that. It's just the willingness and the legality. So there's a lot of those older titles that they don't have the rights to anymore, but still.
So we don't need to spend any more time on that. Thank you, Lethal Weasel, for your question. And then finally, you're up, Asia, with the last question.
Oh, sorry. Thomas Hewitt, the Game Cat. I honestly shed more than a few tears. Aw. Okay, that's it.
Oh, it was the PlayStation VR
at the
award show.
PlayStation VR award show. Yeah, I honestly shed more than a few tears at the intro, and throughout the whole show, it's incredibly I'm gonna edit for you. It's incredible just how far we've come in the last 2 years. I remember I first found this channel a few weeks after PSVR launched because I was desperately looking for someone truly passionate and all in on VR, something I couldn't find at any major gaming sites. Brian, Michelle, Jeremy, Des, thank you, and thank you, Thomas Hewitt.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I think this will be outdated by the time you see this, because on yesterday's Gamescast Live, I think we're going to talk in much more depth about the award show and how it all kind of came together last minute, but also the creation process of it. Like I had so many hopes that when people were watching something that I was making, when I was sitting there at my computer going, man, I hope this hits people the way that I want it to, and then I was watching it happen live, and I was watching one by one the comments roll in, and it was hitting people exactly the way it hit me, and I was like, man, these are my fucking game cats right here, because we all feel the same passion for the same things, and we all think the same way about the same things, and I was like, except for Mervils, because most of us know how great Mervils is, most of us, but Thomas Hewitt really encapsulates everything that I was thinking as those comments were rolling in. He's just like, there's so much love in this community, and I just want to say thank you, Thomas Hewitt, for saying the same thing that many other people said in the comments, but this one just grabbed me. There were tears shed, and I love it.
Yeah.
All right, but that being said, this was the first episode back of Viewer Takeover.
Yeah.
And peeking behind the curtain a little bit, I got to let you guys know
I was late. That's why it's so short today.
It's totally fine. But what I didn't realize I was going to have to do is I'm going to have to like break down the setup and then put up the live setup, because we're about to do PSVR Gamescast Live in 7 minutes. Yay. So we got to do that right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you send in your Viewer Takeover questions anywhere, in any video, any place. Just hashtag Viewer Takeover.
Yep.
And also, if you didn't get a shout out for your Game Cat name change, then A, you either didn't change your name, you should go do that, Frank. Yep. or just put hashtag Game Cat, and I'll make sure you get a shout out next week.
All
right.
All right.
Right on.
Right?
Thank you.
All right.
That's all we can say.
For another episode of the Midnight Games Cast, I'm Brian, that's Dez, and that's Jeremy, and we'll see you next week.
Ciao.
So we're just going to both stare at Jeremy the whole time.
Hey.
Hey, Jeremy, how's it going?
Hi.
Hey.